There we go. There we go. All right, we're live, y'all. This is my first live on YouTube, man. Usually we're going live on Instagram or Facebook, but I'm gonna be doing this more often, y'all. So if you want to catch these lives, join me on one of those channels. I'm gonna be like alternating between platforms. But I had a client ask me this actually the other day, and it was, how can you make success a sure thing? By the way, let me know in the comments. I'll listen back to this later if the sound is good, because my windows are down and we're in the Benz. That's why it's Benz Talks, baby. But they asked me, how can you make success a sure thing? And here was my response to that, because a lot of people would say, well, success isn't a sure thing, but it's actually not true. Like, you can make success a sure thing. Here are the three things that I answered in response to that I have seen to make success a sure thing from my personal experience, okay? So we're gonna get into that. Number one is you need to have skill. I mean, you need to have excellence, mastery in that skill. You can't just like dabble in it, have an immediate win of some kind to some degree, and then assume that you are now like the go-to for that thing. Like, you need to have an incredible skill set around a particular thing that you can build around. Okay, so number one is skill. All right, I'll roll these up because I don't know what this is gonna sound like on the audio. Number two is you gotta have patience. So this is usually where the majority of people fall off, right? So they start to see some success in a specific thing with their skill, and they determine that, hey, I've already done this thing, so I'm going to go do another thing. And that is what's referred to as shiny object syndrome. Okay? Pump's looking strong in this live right now. Just got out of the gym. So you want to make sure that you're not alternating things. Like for us, like I've been teaching sales. If y'all have been following my YouTube channel for a while, I've been teaching sales for over 10 years now. And we've had the sales agency, we're now in year 6. But I've been doing sales as a full-time occupation since 2009 between different industries, 90% of those industries being 100% commission earnings, where I only ate what I killed. All right. So, number one, just to recap, skill. Got to have mastery in that. Don't get shiny object syndrome. Keep doing the damn thing until you're so good it becomes boring because you're number one all the time without trying. That's mastery. Okay. Being able to execute a similar result with a lesser amount of time, energy, and resources. Number two, patience. Okay. This is where, like I said, I see most people fall off, is they're not willing to hold out. So if I were to plant an oak tree today, which is one of the strongest trees to exist, I may have actually made that part up. I have no idea. I just know that they're really, really tough. Okay, so if you plant a seed in the ground to grow an oak tree, and you come back a week later, you've done literally everything you're supposed to do for that tree. You watered it, it got sun, it's pointing in the right direction, you charged your crystals or whatever. I don't know how you grow trees fast, but if you did everything completely right to grow that tree, and it has not become and sprouted to be an oak tree in 1 week, and you come back and you're like, oh, this mother effer sold me seeds that was supposed to grow an oak tree. It's been a week. I've done everything right, and not a single oak tree where I planted that seed. You would be looked at as actually probably like diagnosed as mentally insane, right? Because we all know that oak trees, really any tree in general, does not fully come to its maximum size in a week, right? You would just be looked at as super, super crazy. So that being said, success is the same way. But the problem with it, and this is what's funny, is because so many people lack this common sense, is that it's much harder to create that Elon Musk, that Jeff Bezos, that Zuckerberg. Even if you don't want that type of success, it's very, very difficult to create any degree of that success if you are only giving yourself a week to do it. A lot of the time we underestimate what we can do in 10 years, and we overestimate what we can do in 1 year. And most people are going to quit way before they should. Okay, that is why patience knocks out the majority of the most skilled players in the game, because a lot of time they're naturals at what they do, and they this four-way intersection is crazy. they're naturals at what they do, so they like it because they're doing really well fast. They got recognition, they got money, but then they're not excelling faster because it's not coming naturally, or the next level is such a big gap that they don't have the patience. So they end up getting knocked out of the race and going into something new, and then they have to start over, right? Of course, they carry over characteristics, but they're starting over as it relates to learning the ins and outs, like the meticulous, nuanced details of that skill, because that's mastery, right? It's not just knowing how to do a thing. Like, I know pretty much every single person I know in my phone book, on my phone, knows how to throw a football. Like, everybody knows you pick it up with one hand and you throw it as a projectile with that hand until it goes into the air, and then that's considered to be a thrown ball. Like, everybody knows that. And again, that seems like common sense, right? But what people don't understand is all the nuances that go into that. And if you're saying, Rob, that's another obvious example, of course we know there's more nuances than what you just explained to throw a football. But if you agree to that, then that means that you should also agree to the fact that, yes, I should be willing to wait longer than a year to be able to acquire what I want and have patience, or I should never start. Okay. So it's always important to go in with the right mindset to break past those barriers, which are typically limiting beliefs that are going to stop the majority of people. So that's number two, right? That's why number two, if you hear this example, knocks out the majority of skilled people on planet Earth. Okay. So you already have an advantage if you're able to get past number two, which is patience. You've got a slight edge over literally the majority of the world. Even if you have less skill than the guy or gal next to you, just know if you can wait them out, it's likely that you'll be better than them at the thing and go further in the thing, because even though they were more skilled than you, they weren't willing to wait it out. So they're going to knock themselves out of the race. Okay. They will no longer even be in the race. So any chance they had of winning, they said, F that, I'm not worth it. Okay. That's really what you're telling yourself when you don't have patience to do something. You say, I'm not worth it. And you try to convince yourself that that is, not true. You try to convince yourself that, like, oh, I can do something else better. I don't want to wait for this thing. And you use all these other justifications to be able to explain why you are quitting, right? The thing that you are absolutely phenomenal at. Now that knocks out number most people in the world. Number three, though, is what knocks out 99% of all of existence from ever achieving true success. Okay, this is the thing that creates the Musks, the Bezoses, the Zuckerbergs. This is the thing, okay? Sacrifice. This is the thing most people are not willing to do. A lot of the time, people say to themselves, hey, of course I'm going to have this thing. Look how good I am at this thing. I will continue doing this thing for the rest of my life because I love doing it, right? That's usually the point people get to. But what they are not asking themselves is, what am I willing to get rid of in my life to have this thing? And when you ask yourself that question, that answer will tell you how far you will go in that thing, in that sector of the world. Okay, whether that be in stocks and the finance sector, which maybe, there's a lot of subcategories under stocks, or fitness, or whatever else. And that right there, that answer will tell you. Because if you're like, no, man, of course I wouldn't give up my house, give up my car, give up, my family. Tom Brady gave up his family, bro, to be able to get that next ring, to prove to the world that Belichick did not make him the quarterback that he was with all those rings. He gave up, his wife gave him an ultimatum, man. Quit football or I'm leaving you. This dude was willing to sacrifice his whole family to get what he had told himself he is worth and what he deserves. Most people won't even willing to sacrifice their house or their car or their family or donuts, right? That is why they remain amateur, mediocre in the world. And it's okay, because obviously the world needs those people, right? But if you are watching this and you know that, like, I will not be mediocre, be obsessed, or be average, right? If you know that that is you and you are looking for that level, take these 3 bits of advice and then run with it, because now you have awareness, right? That's the first step. Do you have the awareness to be able to accomplish the thing that could get you to where you want to go? Knowledge is usually the piece that most people are missing, and then it's the effort to apply that knowledge that can get them there. And now you have it, right? Skill, you got to have mastery. Patience, got to wait for the oak tree to get there and grow, which is going to take longer than a year. Okay. And the third is sacrifice. Write that down today and ask yourself, what am I willing to lose to acquire that thing that I want, that main destination. So I hope this live was helpful. Like I said, I'm going to go live. I'm going to be switching out throughout the weeks. One day I'll probably be on Instagram, then YouTube, my Facebook page. So if you want to follow me on all those channels, man, we'll probably also be giving away a scholarship to our Art of Sales Intensive School for sales reps looking to transition into the remote high ticket space, as well as free access to our recruiting pool for business owners. We'll probably give away one of those a month to viewers that are watching, and we'll have like a prompt like share this or comment this or whatever. So keep watching these for those specific days we launch that promotions, and I'll catch you guys on the next live, man.